Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Saturday to you. Wonderful weekend. We're going to take just a quick look here at Bitcoin for the weekend, kind of see what's going on. We're right here at our macro point of control, that 105K range. So honestly, kind of, I wouldn't say drawing dead, but we're just kind of right here in that little area there that it's important to close above this, obviously, for further upside. And or obviously we could see the price action pull back too and bounce off this 0.618 fib. So I wouldn't say we're in a bad position whatsoever. And again, I just kind of remind you here, try not to be blindly bullish on Bitcoin, even though there's a lot of good contributing factors here. It's super good at faking us out and oftentimes making us think it's going to do one thing when it does another. So just throw it out there. Try not to put all your eggs in one basket if that is such a thing for you. I do want to kind of note here that the daily time frame, until we close above this macro resistance about 106.1, just say 106 even, we haven't broken bullish yet. Okay. So even though I've been mentioning that there's a lot of bullish confirming factors, and that's absolutely true, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Getting above that level, it's highly contested. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attempts to break through that level and still hasn't done it yet. Okay. So just know we did the same thing in a lot of ways with previous resistance levels, and those are now supports. All right. So again, just throwing it out there. Good chance we're going to continue higher here, but once more, let's not just be foolhardy and just expect that to happen. We got to get through that 106 barrier first. So let's take a look here at Bitcoin and see what's going on. And I just want to say thank you so much for always hitting the like button, comment below. Yes, that's a subtle gesture or hint to please always hit the like button. Comment if you get a chance, of course. But generally speaking, the more likes we get, the more this gets in front of more people. And honestly, the more people can see this, the better. So let's take a look here at last 7 days of liquidation. We can recognize, first of all, a lot of liquidation at the 107 to 110K range. We talked about that yesterday. In fact, the price came up and tested that level, turned around, and I think I had a community member that was, because for example, we took a Bitcoin long fairly recently here, and we secured about 29% on that trade, Chainlink as well. But the key takeaway here is that we took a long from, what was it, 10, let me take a quick peek here. Sorry, I'll find it for you really quick. There we go, 1045 to 106,750. And again, my profit target was just below that key level resistance because we know 107 to 110 is a heavy resistance range. So if you know that, the important thing is to secure profits before that level. Okay. So again, the reason why that's relevant and why I'm telling you this is simply because that level of 107 was tested but rejected. Right. It's common for resistance range to be resisted or rejected the first time. Okay. So having said that, hypothetically, had you set a profit target just below that key level resistance, you would have found more success, right? Or at least got in and got out, so to speak, and not been like underwater now on a green trade because you got too greedy with your trade profit targets. Okay. Again, it's nothing wrong with setting profit targets in liquidation ranges. I do that all the time, but for the most part, you want to have some profit secured leading into that, just to ensure that A, you get filled, and B, you don't walk away feeling like a chump. Okay, anyways, so 107 to 110, we got that smaller liquidation range, but it gets a little heavier at 111 to 114. So if we do end up surpassing 110, I think a run to 115, 116 makes perfect sense. Okay, we're not there yet, but just know that that is a very, very real thing. We can see liquidation delta has been shifting here this week, and more people are taking longs than shorts. Okay. Now, if this stays too high for too long, I would have a problem with it. It would be a big red flag, a warning sign. But this isn't overextended by any stretch. I mean, we've seen 10 to 15 billion. I would say is probably that overextended time frame, or that amount within this 5-day time frame that you want to pay attention to. But with us only being around anywhere between 2 to 4 billion at any given time, that while it sounds like a lot, it's not a lot compared to what we've seen in the past, and we're going to need more to punch through that resistance range too, by the way. Anyways, take a look here at liquidation. We can recognize, I'm sorry, this is open interest. I always say liquidation here. This is open interest, basically telling us where people are hedged the most. Like how many, what is the heaviest positions people have right now? And imagine this here, being a late long at 108K. Oh man. So this is why breakout traders are typically very unsuccessful. They have to wait a long time for their breakout to continue. Again, pending you don't secure profits, you could have got in at 108, got it out at 109, different story. But these are just a very obvious part of the equation here. What I mean by that is this 107.8 level. If we come back to that level, whenever that happens, there's going to be some exit liquidity because some folks are going to try to get out of their position that's underwater. Okay, so that's why these are treated like resistances. So just keep that in mind. 106, big surprise. We got that 105.8, 105.9, and then of course 108 as a round number. we got those two resistances above us, 106 and 108. So just know that those exist. All right, so that's kind of where that's at. So now that we understand the back end stuff, we kind of a little bit more, more knowledgeable in the overall sentiment here on the back end. Let's take a look at the charts abstractly here and just kind of recognize that, hey, without emotion, we are bullish. We're above all moving averages. The RSIs here are in perfect shape. We love to see the price action maintain around 60 to 70 for the RSI. Stochastic, while it's swinging down, I've already talked to you previously about why it's not super relevant here, and the fact that even though we've had stochastic divergences in the past, we've maintained this range for like 10, 11 days now. Okay, while it's a pretty wide range, keep in mind 100,000 to 110,000 is a pretty big range. You could realistically say it's more like 101 to 106. It's still essentially a range bound, right? And that's why stochastic, it gives you false positives if you aren't range bound, or sorry, if you are rather. And a lot of times when you get that compression, likelihood of breakout is higher, okay? And again, the probability of breakout to the upside makes a lot more sense here because we're maintaining a range with an ascending type of pattern, okay? Once more, a lot of confluence with bullish behavior, okay? So again, to all those people trying to short to the ground or short to 90K, I understand why you're thinking that, and that's very realistic because time and time again it's pulled back. But this does feel different based on the price action maintaining this range, some fundamental things going on in the world too, leads me to believe we're probably likely to at least maintain 100K or higher, right? We may not explode, we may just continue to work ourselves in this range for a while, but the likelihood of it breaking upwards is greater at this point based on, again, more macro behaviors and just the obvious glaring, situation here that we're above all moving averages. We're in a lot of good shape, or very good shape on the macro, okay? Now, the 4-hour time frame might be a little different, and if we take a look here, we are maintaining above the 20 and the 50-day SMA. That's kind of a trendsetter for me that I love to pay attention to, so it's always a good sign. We're right here at that local point of control at 104.5, 105 roughly. So closing above 105 and or 106 is going to be super awesome. Closing below that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to just drop like a rock, but it does imply we may retest this 103K range, which is that local fib support range of just say that golden pocket. Keep in mind, folks, golden pockets, Fibonacci retracement levels, these are just areas that are slightly more consistent, and they could hit that level more often. So if you are literally using fib levels only, you'll have some success, just limited success. So please understand, you want to use this in combination with other things. If you're only ever using this one thing, it's a big problem, okay? Again, it's just kind of very blindsiding, if you will. So anyways, let's take a look here at the 4-hour time frame. We can recognize being above 50 in the RSI is good generally, but again, we're kind of waving above and below that. Not really an awesome situation, but as stochastic continues to go lower and the price action goes higher, we're more likely to break out to the upside. MACD is diverging, of course, which makes sense considering we've had some pretty low volume. You take a look here, big surprise, this is what weekends look like, okay? Even late in Friday afternoon was pretty low volume too, but generally speaking, we need more volume to be able to get the price action higher, just as we would if we need to get it lower. So again, 4-hour time frame is mostly positive, just not phenomenal. Hourly time frame is probably showing us that we're losing momentum. Lagging span is within below the price action, which is generally bearish. The conversion line also has shifted gears. We just have the cloud here effectively holding us in place. Or at least more importantly, we're maintaining within and or above the cloud, so that is more positive. Again, I'm trying not to reach here. There's no reaching here, honestly. It doesn't look phenomenal, but it always does this on weekends. Bitcoin is very common to just kind of run flat on weekends in a lot of cases. The times I've noticed that get a little crazy would be late Saturday night in the US here. That'd probably be Sunday morning, other locations. And then, of course, when Asian markets open, typically Sunday evening here in the US, you could see that happen too, okay? So just be mindful of that. Those are kind of some weekend kill zones I've noticed. But at this point here, there's not enough data for me to want to take a long or a short position. We've already secured a good amount of profit on our long from this 104.7 range to the 106.7. So I don't have any problems kind of waiting on the sidelines. In fact, we have some other profitable trades right now too, along with a couple that are kind of drawing debt. So the market is not really giving a tremendous amount of opportunities. We're seeing this really weird kind of shift here where it's like, are we going to move up or are we going to move down? Every time we move down, altcoins get hit hard. And every time we move up, altcoins are doing pretty poorly. A lot of it has to do with Bitcoin dominance kind of maintaining here at about 59%. Until that drops or goes higher, we're going to be in the same situation we're in, just this consistent, rinse and repeat of just, false positives, false breakouts. So it's a tough market to trade. So future reference, heads up if you are having difficulty trading. Even professional traders are too, right? It's just the opportunities are less consistent. And me being a conservative trader, I like to wait for safer, better entries. And when you wait for those entries, oftentimes the price will turn itself right around shortly after because all the movements already happened, right? So it can be tough. So don't second guess your judgment if you're not finding a lot of super success right now. Best thing to do is just take a walk, get away, take a break for a little while, and come back recharged. That's oftentimes what I do. All right, folks, that's all I got. Hope you learned something here today. I'll post a playout chart, an updated playout chart, of course, on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Looks a little something like this, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Hope you have a good rest of your day, folks. Thanks again for your time. Take care.